Our big thing with Real was it was a couple different things, at least in my opinion. So I'll share what my thoughts are, and I'll let Jason share his. One, Jason already alluded to this earlier, is like we had agents on our team who, you know how it is. I mean, right now the stat is something like 75 to 80% of real estate agents aren't selling any homes. So that's 75% of 80, and we saw the same thing on our team. So we have 75 to 80% of our team who they're out there doing stuff. You know, there's some skills that need to be taught, and we're working on that. But they're not selling homes, but they're writing checks every month to the company just for the technology fee. And so a move to Real allowed us to say, okay, well, now these agents don't have that. So it removed the tech fee that they had every month. It lowered their split. Not that that matters if you're not selling any houses. You know, 100% of nothing is nothing. But you know, it took the future for them and said, hey, this is a little bit better for you. The culture was a little bit different. EXP is it's a great company. I have like one or two bad things to say. And the only bad thing I really have to say about it is the silo effect, where you have these big names, and good for them. So part of it is saying, yeah, I don't want that in my world. And part of it is jealousy that I didn't build it myself. But you have these, what they call silos, at least that's what Real has defined them as, where if you're in this group, you have access to amazing things. But if you're in this group, you don't. So you're always looking up at your sponsor going, what are you offering me?
Yeah.
And I came from a Keller Williams world that said, I'm in this office here in Mesa, but the Scottsdale office invited me to a meeting, and I can go to that and I can learn from that Scottsdale office, and I can go to a conference and we can all learn together, and then I can go mastermind with that agent in Ahwatukee. And it was more familiar, like felt more like a family from that perspective, where there wasn't like, oh no, this is our stuff. Now, granted, Keller Williams has coaching programs that they sell to everybody and their mother, and that's kind of what I'm starting to see with EXP. Real, I'm sure they'll get there. But as of right now, they're very strict in their culture, saying, look, if you got something to offer to the person in your downline, you have to offer that to the entire company. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that.
And when I was at EXP, when I came in under Ricky Caruth. Big name media guy, offered a ton of value, still offers a ton of value. Actually, Ricky would be a great fit at Real because everything he does is really for everybody.
Yeah.
He doesn't really silo it that much. Now, there was some stuff that he offered to people in his downline for free that maybe you have to pay for if you're not in his downline. He was open to sharing with everybody.
And he built his entire empire, if you want to call it. I mean, it is an empire on free coaching.
Yep.
But yeah, the downline piece of it, or the rev share, it's in the business plan.
Ideally, when you come to an EXP or a Real broker, ideally you're thinking about rev share.
Yeah.
But honestly, you can't.
Execution is different than just
ideas. And it's honestly, you need to succeed first in real estate before you can really build that downline. So big name people like Kenny Klaus and Shannon Gillette, people will attract to their team and to their brand simply because they're rock star real estate agents. And that's the reality of it. So first you really need to be a rock star real estate agent, and you can do that at any brokerage. Yeah.
And then you've got to be high eye, in my opinion, and part of it. I mean, I just want to get to work, and if you want to sit there and talk for and build like community thing, that's just not how I'm wired. I mean, you know that. When I ran the Keller Williams office, I was never the one coming out cheerleading. I was like, oh, that's what they do. Like, yeah, numbers. It's like, here's where we stand. Here's what we need to do. Make these calls, do these things. And it's like, a lot of people don't want to do that.
I've figured out over the last couple of years as well that attracting isn't my main focus. I mean, with my background in appraisal, real estate knowledge is my specialty. Yeah. So selling homes is easy. As far as, finding the people to buy and sell is the hard part. That's the most complicated part. But actually selling the home is simple for me because I've seen everything you could possibly see in my appraisal background. Mm-hmm. When zoning issues pop up, when all these things pop up, those are all things I've had to deal with on the appraisal side of things that most agents don't see until they sell a home. Well, I've already seen it before selling a home. To get my appraisal license, it took 1 to 2 years, right? And so you go through the classes, you do the stuff, you take back then it was 90 hours of classes.
What is it now?
I don't know what it is now.
Okay.
That was 27 years ago I did that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is now, but back then I had to take 90 hours, and then plus you got to take 28 hours every 2 years. What I had to do to become an appraiser, and then I became a real estate agent in a month. So, I mean,
Yeah, the barrier of entry into real estate's a lot lower than appraisal.
you have to know real estate on a different level.
You
on
can't
the
go on
appraisal
your own
side.
as an appraiser right away, can you?
No,
You have to go
you
under
have to
somebody
train
else.
under somebody. And my dad was an appraiser, so I learned under him, and then a couple other appraisers as well. But that process just takes a lot longer, and you're learning stuff on a different scale than you are when you're doing a real estate transaction. When you're doing a real estate transaction, you're kind of learning it as you go. When you're doing an appraisal, that's not the case. I mean,
You're not learning on the fly.
no, not really.
Yeah, I remember I had this guy in a class I was teaching. Keller Williams had this thing called the Ignite program. I don't know if they still have it or not. And I had this one guy in the back of the room just get all irritated with me. And he's like, "You're not teaching me what to do before I go out there. I don't feel equipped to go out there." And I was like, "Well, in
never
real
will.
estate, you got to go out there first,
Yep.
and then I'll teach you what you did wrong." I'm like, that's how you learn in real estate. You jump in the
Absolutely.
water, you flail around. But the only thing I can promise you is that I'll stand there and hand you a life vest. That's all I can promise you.
But see, on the agent side of things, you don't necessarily ever think about learning all of Fannie Mae's guidelines,
it's
Freddie Mac
impossible.
guidelines, VA guidelines, FHA guidelines. On the appraisal side, every time we do an appraisal, it's got to meet all the guidelines for whichever type of loan it is. So if
Yeah.
it's an FHA loan, I've got to know everything from HUD Handbook 4000.1,
even
and
know
which
what
as
that
a
is.
real estate agent, you probably don't know what that is.
Nope.
But if it's important to know that stuff in the sense that you've got to get the deal through,
Right.
and if you're going to sell a home and there's something that's going to raise a red flag in HUD Handbook 4000.1 and you don't know that, well, then there's going to be a hiccup in your transaction.
Right.
So some of the things that I can bring from that perspective is when I'm there, I know what's going to pop up on an FHA appraisal. So I can nip that in the bud before we even get to that problem.
That's true. That most recent one you did in Tonopah is an example that a lot of agents shouldn't have taken that listing because one, they wouldn't know what, in that area, what are the type of loans that are possibly going to come in on that one. Some agents, they don't realize, septic, well, water testing, like all those little extra things, because if you only sell in town, you never deal with any of that stuff. The second you start going into like more of a, rural type area and you're out in the middle of nowhere, everything changes.
Yep.
And the fact that you were able to anticipate all that stuff and to talk to the seller about it, because that's the other biggest thing too, I think that real estate agents don't do. They don't future pace their clients enough.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I know that's one thing you do really well is you can future pace every potential issue. And I know you train on this all the time with the agents. It's like one of the things you'll hear Jason tell the agents all the time is that, so you need to be able to tell them and point back and go, so remember when we talked about, it's like if you don't have that conversation up front so that when the issue does come in and be able to have that, then you're going to lose clients. They're going to feel like you're just trying to push a deal down their throat and they're never going to refer you any business. And you're never going to grow your business because if you don't have a referral-based business in real estate, you're just chasing your tail year after year after year.
Yeah.
You'll never have a predictable business, in my opinion.